Buddhism was the only foreign religion assimilated into China until the 20th century. This makes Buddhism China's oldest foreign religion. However, Buddhism did not stay in its pure Indian form and underwent some changes in China. Buddhism made its way to China through the Silk Road trade route. It is said that China's Emperor Ming had a dream about the Buddha and sent his officials out to discover the cause of his dream. The officials eventually found two Buddhist monks carrying Buddhist texts with them and brought them back to Emperor Ming. Emperor Ming then asked the monks to translate their texts to Chinese, and he built them a temple for them to stay in as thanks. This temple is known as the White Horse Temple today. It is unknown whether these events actually occurred, but it serves as an origin story for Buddhism in China. As Buddhism was translated from India to China, some aspects of it changed. Many of the Chinese translated Buddhism using Taoist ideas and words. This meant that certain Taoist ideologies made their way into Chinese Buddhism. A huge example of this was the idea that the soul is an imperishable part of a person. Buddhists traditionally did not believe that there was something as essential and absolute as a soul inside any living organism. This is an example of the Taoist idea of self working its way into Chinese Buddhism. Over time, Buddhism gained more and more popularity with the Chinese people. By the 6th century, it was able to even rival Taoism in popularity. Buddhism played a significant role in taking away some of the dominance that Confucianism had in China. This was because Buddhism offered people the goal of achieving spiritual enlightenment and peace rather than the strict social standards people had to live by with Confucianism. Buddhism also helped the Chinese people realize that China wasn't the only civilized country in the world and that the emperor was not the son of heaven. The Chinese people had gained respect for another country thanks to Buddhism. Two types of Buddhism developed over time. They were known as Pure Land and Zen Buddhism. Pure Land Buddhism was the more popular of the two. And this was because Pure Land Buddhism offered someone a path to enlightenment that couldn't withstand long rituals or meditation. People who live under this belief wish to be reborn in the Pure Land where enlightenment is easier to obtain. People would recite the name Amitabha Buddha, which expresses gratitude toward the Buddha. Zen Buddhism is the less popular of the two forms because it requires large amounts of discipline to practice. This is because those that practice this form are attempting to understand the meaning of life and achieve enlightenment through long rituals and meditation. Buddhism and Taoism are very closely related with each other when it comes to Chinese Buddhism. This is because both have similar end goals: to eliminate mental suffering and achieve balance. Taoism introduced the main factor that makes Chinese Buddhism different from Indian Buddhism. This is known as the idea of self. This is important because in traditional Buddhism, the idea of self is completely ignored, while in Chinese Buddhism, it is used as motivation to achieve enlightenment. This made Buddhism more appealing to a person on an individual level. Buddhism today is formally recognized as one of China's 5 official religions by the Chinese government. According to a survey published in 2014, around 6% of China's population is Buddhist. This year, it has been reported that there are 300 million active Buddhists living in China. That's almost as many Buddhists as the population of the United States.